Nice.
Is dead. When did that happen?
Hello. Was there? Hello. Was there a harpy?
Bad.
Surplus emotionist again?
No.
Thanks.
No. No.
Did you get another one?
No.
The
Mythoclast.
Mythoclast.
Oh,
Mythoclast. I got it.
I think
Josh
I got it.
Josh got it.
It happened. It exists. Well, hello there. Yes, you heard it right. Or saw it right. I am now the owner of a pretty Vex Mythoclast. Let's replay that footage back again. That's right, the beauty itself... oh, wait, wrong game. The beauty itself is back and has arrived in my hands. What? Anyway, hi guys. This has been my new object of destruction ever since it dropped for me, and I've had some time to make some sort of review about it. So first of all, breaking it down into simple terms, this is a fusion rifle. You get a kill in PvP, and the icon in the kill feed will be a fusion rifle. You have a fusion rifle bounty, it will count using the Vex Mythoclast. But of course, this doesn't act like one. I mean, if you want to be really brutal about it, it's a 360 RPM auto rifle without the enjoyment of decent range, and it has a built-in linear fusion rifle perk available to proc once you get 2 kills in Crucible or 5 to 6 kills in PvE, respectively. So if you're wondering why when this thing drops it goes from the Vault of Glass straight into the Vault, it's not that hard to understand why. Starting with Crucible, the following gameplay you're watching is half with the catalyst and half without, and I found myself doing very well in most lobbies, especially against the sweatier players. It's very satisfying to be rewarded after 2 kills with a linear fusion rifle that feels very sticky to people's heads, as the gameplay shows. This thing holds a lot of potential, and not just in some YouTuber way of, yo guys, I did well with this weapon, so it must mean that this is insane, bro. No, I'm talking realistically. While it may not be the hottest thing to use right now, other than just for fun, taking into consideration Bungie devs having already said that it is indeed getting a buff, there's no numbers or anything of the sort behind that, we just know it is definitely on the buff list. That in itself speaks volumes. I know there are plenty of people who say the Vex Mythoclast is amazing at Crucible and people dominate lobbies with it, but with that in mind, if you come up against a lobby of half-decent 120 RPM hand cannon users and shotty people, yeah, you're probably getting slaughtered, unless you're in the 1%. And even then, if you hit all your shots perfectly, it gets outgunned by a plethora of weapons, because at its current rate, it's not really worth using for any semi-competitive PvP or high-level content. And that bloody sucks for such a rare and iconic weapon. And no, I'm not saying it should be some ridiculously overpowered thing. Having said that though, considering the buff that is coming for it, any sort of damage help will go a long way, even if it's on the small end. Which, by the way, as unprofessional as I am, I forgot to mention. This weapon does have a catalyst, as I mentioned earlier, which increases the stability depending on how many charges you have stacked up from kills. Noticeable, but for a weapon without much range, it's more of just a nice touch, as opposed to something that helps it feel more powerful. But I guess I did expect that part to be a little bit better. I mean, grab a False Promises auto rifle with Zen Moment and Rampage, and right there, you have something more consistent than the Vex Mythoclast, with the catalyst already. I do like the Vex Mythoclast. It's almost amazing. It's almost a yes out of 10. Now for PvE, I'm gonna be upfront here. I don't use or really know that many Charge with Light builds that could make this weapon even more powerful and stand out better. The only one I use for PvE is also the one I use for Crucible, and that is the basic Charge with Light paired with High Energy Fire for the flat 20% damage buff. Quite plain, but better than nothing nonetheless. I ventured around with the Mythoclast where I thought most people would like to go when they have a new and fun raid exotic, to do some patrolling and spend some time just shooting stuff, a public event here and there, and much more casual and relaxing sort of gameplay. I also completed a few legendary lost sectors to up the difficulty a little bit and give it some space to show its utility. It's kind of annoying in a way, because this was the season to have a fusion rifle champion mod. It would give it a lot more purpose for things like this, especially hitting a stun and using the linear fusion rifle part for crit damage for some potential fast cleanups. How would that work in Grandmaster tier content? Probably nowhere near up to scratch. But still, the point remains, although it is edging closer to the next season, so maybe we will be seeing a return sooner than later. For lighter activities, it's a lot of fun to run around with and show off your extremely rare lump of Vex material of an exotic. You'll feel right at home, mowing down ads and linear shooting any mages or bosses you come across. It does have its own place in this weird timeline we're on in Destiny 2 nowadays, without losing many of the original features of how it feels when you shoot. Minus the gun sound. Really, Bungie, why would you change the sound of this thing? When you heard a Destiny 1 Mythoclast, you knew it was a Mythoclast. Come on, that sounds way better. I really like this Mythoclast. It was obvious Bungie had to make some changes to give it something unique aside from the aesthetic. It had to be something more than a fusion rifle that wasn't really a fusion rifle. And now it kind of is. It just needs a bit of help. A damage buff on the normal firing version or the linear version. Whatever happens with the supposed buff that is on its horizon, I do hope it lends a hand to all of those who didn't get to play Destiny 1 and take part in the purple patch of Destiny history, and get that special feeling of having one of the most well-known exotics in the franchise to drop and actually be able to use it, instead of it being an exotic from the Vault of Glass straight into your vault. I may have said that line twice now, but shut up, it's funny. Thank you, James. I literally have no idea how to make a decent weapon review, by the way, so thank you all very much for watching so far. I gave it a shot on Gambit also, just for good measure, and quickly found that the PvE side of things in there, what an absolute marshmallow shooter. So weak against most enemies, which isn't a huge surprise, to be honest. It is Gambit, to be fair. The land of pain that has its own difficulty. One match you're feeling like you shred most things, and the next you feel like a complete new light, and about 100 light levels below the recommended. However, as you can imagine, for invading, it did very well. I think any linear fusion rifle when you're invading is going to be pretty decent, to be fair. Still makes it a fun alternative to saving up heavy ammo and instead turning your earned PvE kills into easy one-shots while invading. Although it does encourage you to care more about your weapon charges as opposed to your motes. Classic Titan brain. The regular fire version also does nicely if you can close the gap and reach your enemies fast, and again, I'm sure many other weapons can do better at this particular scenario of rushing and being super aggressive. But it's so nice to have that option of linear fusion invading and regular fire while still doing some decent damage. For the PvE side of Gambit, bring a shotgun. You will notice yourself getting teabagged more often just due to you having the Vex Mythoclast in the first place. But that's okay. It's not your fault. You didn't ask for the Vex Mythoclast, you know? So Chase from Florida can bugger off and be jealous. Thank you all so much for watching this, review? The video about the lump of Vex material. It has genuinely been a very fun time collecting these clips and using it for the past week or so. If you guys have one yourself, if you're one of the chosen ones with a Vex Mythoclast, then let me know how you feel about the weapon, how powerful it feels, if you're disappointed with it. Tell me, let me know in the comment section, and also, do leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Genuinely does mean a tremendous amount to me. And lastly, thank you all so much for 74,000 subscribers. What? I deserve absolutely none of that, but I'm still extremely thankful for you guys just being here. Thank you for your time today. I love all of your faces, collectively, all of you. So guys, until next time, say it with me now, take care. And lastly, thank you all for 74. I keep saying 74. Am I done?